Hello, and welcome back to another installment of the Weekend Update. I am Marissa, your hostess for this program, where we dive into what I have been up to in terms of reading over the past week and what I'm looking forward to in the coming week. So let's dive right in with the books that I completed in this past week. Yes, I said books, plural. I actually completed two books this week, which is pretty big for me. I usually am like a one book a week kind of gal, but this week I completed two, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself. The first book I completed was First Time Caller by BK Borison. I loved this book. I loved this book. This was a 5-star read for me, an easy 5-star read for me. I found the relationship and the chemistry so natural. I felt like the progression of their relationship made complete and total sense. I also found both characters to be very charming. I enjoyed both of them. They were humans, and so they had flaws and they had different insecurities that they had to overcome. But when it got to, I would say, like the main conflict of the book, what we saw was a mature man who realized that he, in fact, had problems that he needed to overcome in order to be in a relationship, and he did the work. A breath of fresh air. Also, we, I think, see a really good description of what love is because I think a lot of times in romance books, something that just kind of gets my goat is this like flowery idea that love is just a feeling. Oh, well, I just love you. Like it's a feeling. And something that we see in this book is the idea that yes, love is a feeling, but love is also a decision. And there was a really beautiful conversation between Aiden, the male main character, and his dad. And I almost started crying during this conversation. Basically, he's saying, how can you say that love is worth it when you're continually getting your heart broken over and over and over and over, watching your wife deal with something like cancer? Okay, so I'm going to read this quote because it was really beautiful to me. It was never a choice. I was always going to love your mom, and I would never have chosen different, even with everything we've endured together. It makes it better, doesn't it, to know how temporary it all is. Love isn't always sunshine and daisies. Sometimes it's hospital beds and shaved heads, but I wouldn't trade any of it because all of it is with her. And I think the idea of like love is a choice that you continue to make to be with this person and to continue to devote yourself to this person for the rest of your life, in sickness and in health, in the good times and in bad. I thought that was really refreshing, and it made me feel really emotional because I'm like, yes, that is what love is. Love is not just flowery feelings. Love is life sucks, life is hard, but I'm going to continue to choose to be with this person. And so I'm getting all riled up. Listen, what's new? The second book that we completed this week was Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I ended up rating it 3.75 stars. This was to me not as strong as the other two Alice Feeney books that I've read, Beautiful Ugly and Daisy Darker. Those books were exceptional books, in my opinion. Now, Alice Feeney still has this writing style and this ability to tell stories that is really, really good, especially for a thriller. And the twists and the turns and the way she unfolds the story just really sucks me in. However, why was this a 3.75 instead of the usual 4 or 4.5 for an Alice Feeney book? I think that there was a couple things. One, my husband and I were both able to guess certain twists in certain parts of the story. I know my husband is freakishly good at guessing that kind of thing, but I was also able to guess a different part of the story. And so if I'm able to do it, then to me, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not as good at this as Ethan is. And I didn't have that like jaw on the floor moment that I usually do. I also felt like the ending was, in my opinion, it was not satisfying to me at all. We have all of this lead up, and then we have the beginning of a, I guess, resolution, and then the chapter ends, and we go to like some distant time in the future and some other person's POV. And I personally am not someone who likes an open ended ending. Like, it really bothers me. I know what happened, but it was also really frustrating because we've had this huge thing and then it just ends in a sentence. And I wanted more. Would I recommend rock, paper, scissors? Probably. Yeah, honestly, probably. will continue to read more Alice Feeney books. In terms of what I'm currently reading, I am reading Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. I am about 14% of the way through, and this is my second Adrienne Young book. I also read The Unmaking of June Farrow. Something that I'm noticing the same as before was that she does a really good job of sucking you in and making you want to just sit and keep reading and keep reading. And the chapters are pretty short, and so it's easy to get hooked. So I'm enjoying what I'm reading so far, but I'm like, there's a mystery afoot, and I want to solve it. So we'll see how I feel next week. The other book that we are currently reading is an audiobook, and that is Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister. It's still early days. We're about 20% of the way through that one, and it's definitely interesting. We read Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister, and we really enjoyed that. And so I'm excited to see some of her like magic and twists and turns in it. About 10% of the way through, my husband turns to me and goes, "Don't worry, Marissa. When you're 9 months postpartum and you're getting ready to go back to work, I won't hold anyone hostage." So thank you for that reassurance, Ethan. In terms of what I'm going to be reading next, okay, the last 3 weekend updates, I have been in a little bit of a quandary. I'm in the same quandary because Who Twisted Crowns is still not available at the library. However, it's okay. So I actually have 3 options that I'm going to kind of be going between. The first is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. I read One Dark Window, I think 2 books ago. Loved it. So I really want to get to the next one. The second book that I have on hold at the library and that I'm waiting to receive is And Now Back to You by BK Borison. And so I'm excited for that one as well. First Time Caller, like I said, was a 5-star book for me. If neither of those 2 books come to the library before I finish Spells for Forgetting, then I will be reading For the Record by Emma Lord. There's something about this book that just speaks to me. I don't know what it is. I think it's the colors and the cute little cartoons on the front. And my friend Erin has been telling me that she really likes Emma Lord's books. And so I want to be able to talk about it with Erin. So that's what I have been up to this past week. What have you been up to over the past week? What have you finished? What were some books that you loved? What were some books that maybe you didn't love so much? And what are you looking forward to in the next week? I will see you guys next week, same time, same place. Talk to you later.